Welcome to Alabama Resources Driver Safety Training. Safe driving techniques. Driving is a dangerous activity that most of us do on a daily basis. Newer vehicles are extremely quiet and smooth, and it is very easy to get lulled into a state where one forgets the massive amount of energy at our fingertips. Thousands of pounds of steel moving at high speeds create large amounts of kinetic energy that must be carefully controlled. In order to safely navigate the roadways to work or the supermarket, not only is controlling your own vehicle required, but also avoiding collisions with the hundreds of other motorists sharing the road. Driving defensively means being constantly aware of the driving conditions, planning ahead, anticipating dangers, and taking the right action to avoid contact with any other vehicles or obstacles. Driving knowledge and experience. Your knowledge should include recognition of the hazards of driving and how to protect yourself. Skill is more than eye/hand/foot coordination. It is a well-rehearsed driving strategy, which involves anticipation, reaction, and the constant changing of the space between your vehicle and other vehicles. Driver attitude and awareness. Courtesy and consideration toward others are the most important driving attitudes you can develop. Concentration and alertness are other important elements. You must develop the habit of keeping your mind on driving. Driving when you are suffering from extreme fatigue or emotional distress can be just as dangerous as driving drunk. Foresight in driving terms. Foresight means being able to size up traffic situations as quickly as possible and being prepared to take corrective action. Safe driving requires exercising good judgment and recognizing the proper choices to make in any given traffic situation. When entering an intersection, be sure to check both left and right before proceeding. By frequently checking the traffic behind you, you will know when someone is tailgating or moving up too quickly. When changing lanes, use your side mirrors and turn your head, to be sure that it is safe to proceed with the lane change. By knowing the speed and position of traffic on all four sides of your vehicle, you will be better able to make decisions quickly and safely. Skinning. Avoid driving in someone else's blind spot. This can be just as dangerous as not checking your own. Speed up or drop back, but never stay for an extended time in a blind spot area. If you cannot see another vehicle's mirrors, then that driver cannot see you. Do not rely on your mirrors alone to see other vehicles. Turn your head quickly to see if the way is clear. Fatigue. Fatigue dulls the mind and reduces your ability to act quickly and correctly. If you find yourself feeling sleepy while driving, it is already past the time to get off the road. Rest is the only safe remedy. Communicating. Communicating means clearly showing other drivers and pedestrians what you plan to do early enough to avoid a collision. Anytime you plan to change directions, use your turn signals whether you are changing lanes, turning at an intersection, entering a freeway, pulling away from a curb or pulling off to the side of the road. Signal at least 4 seconds before you turn so other drivers will have time to react. After you complete your maneuver, be sure your turn signal is off. If you plan to turn beyond an intersection, do not signal until you are in the intersection. Drivers in the intersection may pull out in front of you. The space cushion. The space between you and other vehicles gives you, and the other drivers, time to react in emergencies and avoid collisions. Create a space cushion around you by staying in the middle of your lane. Make sure there is enough room ahead and behind to pass or stop safely. Leave enough space between you and the car ahead of you to allow for a sudden stop. If you are following too closely, you may not be able to stop in time. You can help the driver behind you maintain a safe following distance by driving at a constant speed and signaling maneuvers in advance. Health. Your physical, mental and emotional conditions outweigh any other potential problems you will face on the road. Even a simple headache or cold could affect your ability to drive safely. Avoid driving when using any medication and be as objective as possible about your fitness to drive. Emotions. You cannot drive well if you are angry, excited, worried or depressed. Anger is the emotion that probably occurs most often while driving, especially in heavy traffic. Do not allow your emotions to influence the decisions you must make while driving. Distractions. Even minor distractions can take your attention away from driving. It is your responsibility to pay full attention to your driving. Cell phones. It is best to pull off the road safely and stop if you are going to use a cellular telephone. Trying to dial, answer, or talk on a phone while driving can divert your attention from your driving and can be dangerous. The hands-free cell phone systems are the safest for driving. City driving techniques. One-way streets. If you will be traveling on a one-way street for several blocks, it is best to stay in the center lane. The left and right lanes will be used by turning vehicles. Be alert for the one-way street changing to two-way traffic along the way. Reversible lanes. Some travel lanes are designed to carry traffic in one direction at certain times throughout the day, and in the opposite direction at other times. These lanes are usually marked by double-dashed yellow lines. Before you drive in these lanes, check to see which lanes you can. There should be signs posted on the side of the road or overhead. Two-way left turn lane. Many two-way streets have a center lane marked as a two-way left-hand turn lane. This lane is bordered on either side by two yellow lines. The inner line is broken, the outer line is solid. This lane is only for the use of vehicles turning left in either direction. This lane provides a safe area to slow before a left turn off of the street, or to speed up after a left turn onto a street. Drivers should follow these rules: 1. Signal before entering the lane. 2. Move completely into the lane. 3. Be alert for others using the lane. 4. Do not use the lane for passing or for through traffic. Sharing the road with a bike or motorcycle. Cyclists must obey the same traffic laws as drivers of motor vehicles, and they have the right of way under the same conditions as motorists. Motorists should be alert for cyclists along the roadway, because they are often difficult to see. Motorists are required to allow a minimum safe distance of 3 feet when passing a bicycle or motorcycle traveling in the same direction. At night you should dim your headlights for cyclists. Drivers should be prepared for a bicyclist swerving. Although cyclists must ride with the flow of traffic and stay to the right side of the road, they can legally move left for several reasons. Turning left. Avoiding hazards. Passing pedestrians or traffic. If the lane in which the bicycle is operating is too narrow for a bicycle and motor vehicle to share side by side safely. School crossings and school zones. School crossings and zones are usually posted along with the speed limit. Whether posted or not, the speed limit approaching a school crossing or in a school zone is always 15 miles per hour. You may never pass another vehicle in a school zone, even on multi-lane streets. School buses. A school bus displaying alternating flashing lights and / or a mechanical stop sign arm extended is either picking up or dropping off passengers. You must come to a complete stop before reaching the bus. You must remain stopped until the bus moves ahead, or no longer displays the flashing lights and stop sign. You are not required to stop for a school bus on a divided roadway when traveling in the opposite direction. A divided roadway is one in which the road is separated by a physical barrier such as a fence, curbing, or separation of the pavement. Emergency vehicles. Always be alert for emergency vehicles while driving. Do not play music so loud that you cannot hear a siren approaching. You must always yield the right of way to an emergency vehicle using a siren, flashing lights, or other warning device. Drive as soon as safely possible to the right side of the road and stop until the vehicle has passed. Do not pull out and follow the emergency vehicle closer than 200 feet. Freeway driving techniques. Freeways and interstate highways are designed to handle higher speed traffic safely. You need to be comfortable with driving at these speeds and with the special procedures below before you attempt freeway driving. Entering a freeway. The key to entering a freeway smoothly is to accelerate on the entrance ramp/lane to match the speed of freeway traffic in the right lane, then signal, check the traffic around you, and merge carefully. Drivers on the freeway should move left one lane to assist traffic trying to merge from the entrance ramp. Sometimes this does not happen, however, and it is up to you to adjust your speed to merge. Stopping while entering a freeway is dangerous. If you must stop, signal the vehicle behind you using hand signals or your brake lights. Always leave enough room between you and the vehicle ahead of you on the entrance ramp, so if that vehicle stops, you can safely stop. Lane use. The right lane is used for entering and exiting, and for slower traffic. The left lane is for higher speed traffic. Avoid the right lane of a freeway during rush hour. This will leave room for vehicles entering and exiting. Be alert for other vehicles attempting to merge into your lane. Use proper signals to let other drivers know if you are changing lanes. Do not exceed the posted speed limits. Avoid tailgating, following the car ahead of you too closely. Restrictions: on the freeway you must not drive over or across any median or dividing section. Make U-turns. Change lanes without signaling. Drive onto the freeway, except at an on-ramp. Park or stop on a freeway, except in specially provided areas. Parking on the shoulder of the freeway is prohibited, except in the case of emergency. Drive in any high-occupancy vehicle, HOV, lane unless there are 2 or more persons in the vehicle. Special situations on the freeway. If you need assistance, pull over onto the right shoulder as far as possible. Avoid stopping your vehicle on or near freeway ramps. To signal for assistance on the freeway, turn on your emergency flashers and tie a white handkerchief or scarf to the radio antenna, or raise the hood of the vehicle. To signal after dark, turn on your inside dome light and slash or set out flares or portable warning signals. Wait for help. Do not walk along the freeway. While driving, watch for disabled vehicles on the freeway. If you are the first motorist to approach a disabled vehicle, reduce your speed, turn on your emergency flashers, then proceed around the disabled vehicle with caution. Exiting the freeway. Use your signals at least 1/2 mile before your exit. Most freeways will have deceleration lanes to assist you to exit. Use proper braking to allow for a smooth exit. Maintain adequate space between your vehicle and the vehicle ahead when exiting in heavy traffic. Freeways are often the quickest route to your destination. However, freeways do present special challenges to your driving skills. Never relax your attention, or allow yourself to become distracted when driving on a freeway. Remember to always wear your seat belt when driving on the freeway. Aggressive driving. Aggressive driving. In many states, you may be cited for aggressive driving if you commit a series of acts during a single, continuous period of driving that presents an immediate hazard to another person or vehicle, exceed the posted speed limit, and commit 2 of the following violations. The penalties for aggressive driving may include fines, being required to attend a traffic survival school course, or your license may be suspended. Suggestions that will help you stay calm while driving in stressful conditions. Plan your journey. If you know the best way to get to your destination, it helps reduce anxiety and stress. Forget work or home worries while you are behind wheel. Concentrate on your driving instead. Drive with your doors locked, and if you sense trouble, do not leave the safety of your car. Take a deep breath and count slowly from 1 to 10 if you are tempted to jump out of your car in a fit of rage. Do not retaliate by flashing headlights, sounding your horn, or making rude gesture. It only makes a volatile situation worse. If you are the victim of aggression, note the license plate number and report the incident as soon as possible. Remember, we all share the roads and simply want to arrive safely. The following examples of situations show types of accidents which are preventable. Pedestrians. Traffic regulations and court decisions generally favor the pedestrian hit by a moving vehicle. An unusual route of a pedestrian at mid-block or from between parked vehicles does not necessarily relieve a driver from taking precautions to prevent such accidents. School zones, shopping areas, residential streets, and other areas with special pedestrian traffic must be traveled at reduced speeds equal to the particular situation. Keeping within posted speed limits is not taking the proper precaution when unusual conditions call for voluntary reduction of speed. Parking. Unconventional parking locations, including double parking and failure to put out warning devices, constitute a preventable accident. Rollaway accidents from a parked position normally are preventable. A properly parked vehicle should be locked, with the engine off, parking brake set, manual transmission in lowest gear, and wheels blocked or turned toward the curb to prevent vehicle movement. Backing. Practically all backing accidents are preventable. Even with a ground guide, a driver must verify all clearances. Miscellaneous. Damage to the vehicle, cargo, or other property, or injury to persons are preventable when the driver's action or failure to act are evidenced, such as losses from projecting loads, loose objects falling from the vehicle, loose tarpaulins, or chains, and doors swinging open. Vehicle behind. Reports show that drivers risk being struck from behind by failing to keep a safe interval in their own following distance. Passing. Failure to pass safely indicates faulty judgment and the possible failure to consider one or more of the important factors a driver must observe before attempting the maneuver. Unusual actions of the driver being passed or of oncoming traffic might appear to exonerate a driver involved in a passing accident. However, the entire passing maneuver is voluntary and the driver's responsibility. Oncoming. Even if an oncoming vehicle enters a driver's lane, a collision can be avoided by slowing down, stopping, or moving to the right. Safe backing for drivers. Backing up a vehicle is a basic function of driving. Backing up seems like a simple operation which would hardly present many hazards, yet drivers frequently cause vehicle and property damage, injuries, and even fatalities by performing this task improperly. The following are guidelines for backing up a vehicle or piece of equipment safely. When backing a vehicle, do not solely rely on the mirrors for guidance. Turn around and look where you are going. If your view to the rear is at all obstructed, before backing up, place the vehicle in park or neutral with the brake set, and get out and look behind the vehicle or equipment to ensure that your pathway is clear. When backing out of a residential driveway, walk around the back of your car to enter the vehicle. Every year children are tragically injured and killed because they were playing behind a car where the driver couldn't see them and backed over them. Equipment or vehicles which have an obstructed view to the rear must have an automatic backup alarm which may be heard over the usual noise of the work area. Do not assume anyone can hear your backup alarm and will move clear of your path when backing a piece of equipment. Ensure that your path is clear and that any person in the area is aware of your intention to back up before moving your vehicle. When acting as a ground guide to assist in directing a vehicle or piece of equipment, do not walk backward yourself. Look in the direction you are walking and frequently check to see the position of the vehicle you are guiding. Ensure that you stay in view of the driver at all times. Prior to beginning, confirm the hand signals to be used with the driver. When backing a trailer, have someone guide you. Remember that you steer opposite the direction you want the trailer to move. Using your mirrors to back a trailer can be extremely confusing as objects are backwards in a mirror. If possible, turn around and look where your trailer is going. Do not attempt to back too close to any object without someone guiding you. Take into account the extra room needed when backing up a pickup truck or equipment which may have a tailgate, liftgate, trailer hitch, etc. When backing an aerial device, or piece of equipment with an implement raised, remember to look for overhead obstructions and hazards as well as what is directly behind you. Keep your speed low when backing any vehicle. Driving in reverse is harder than driving forward, and it is much easier to lose control of a vehicle driving too fast in reverse. Stay out of the direct path of any vehicle backing up. Never get between a vehicle which is backing up and a fixed or solid object or an excavation, no matter how much clearance you think you have. Always know what is behind you while driving, especially when backing up. Follow these guidelines for safety when backing up a vehicle. Use of Alabama Resources equipment and vehicles. The purpose of this policy is to ensure the safe and proper use of Alabama Resources owned vehicles. All employees who drive for Alabama Resources must maintain an appropriate valid driver's license, CDL, operators, etc., and drive in accordance to any restrictions attached to same license. Motor vehicle records will be obtained on all employees prior to employment and no less than every 12 months. A driving record that fails to meet the criteria as specified in the driver's safety policy may result in any of the following: loss of the privilege of driving an authority vehicle, discontinuance of vehicle allowance and/or further disciplinary action including termination. Authority-owned vehicles should be driven for the purpose of conducting Alabama Resources business. Authority-owned vehicles are to be driven by authorized employees only. Spouses, other family members, or other non-employees are not authorized to drive or ride in company vehicles. Personal use should be limited and restricted to during the workday and on the way to and from work. Authority vehicles should not be used during non-work hours. Passengers are generally limited to those individuals who need to ride in the vehicle to conduct employer business, such as other employees, vendor representatives, etc. Thank you for attending the Alabama Resources Driver Safety Training.